All right, happy Friday, everybody. Obviously, I'm not Glenn. I'm filling in for him today as well. I will be filling in for his Monday live stream. So just a heads up there. He'll be back on Tuesday. Business as normal after that. Now, I was looking at the market. First thing I noticed, one of the first headlines I saw today, Nasdaq just hit a new all-time high. Other than that, I was seeing McDonald's. Nothing good in the news with McDonald's right now. Looks like 75 people affected by the E. coli outbreak. At least to some reports today. Everybody's making their way in. See here. Yep, the alert will be hitting. There it goes. It just should be hitting in here in any second. Let's see here. What's going on, Badger? We got Chris. Jay's in the house. Let's see here. All right. Everybody's making their way in. Ooh, let's see. Get just a moment here. All right. Just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Everybody can see me. All right. Perfect. All right. Type of VV in the room. Let's get started, everybody. Phyllis Moore, hi Ryan. You recommended VRT at 6 p.m. video. It's 1:13. I have 106 calls expiring today. Exercise or sell? Ooh, I mean, that's a personal choice. I mean, exercising it puts you in the position for the long haul. I mean, are you really a believer in the stock? It's a good stock. I mean, it's a tech company. Nasdaq just hit an all-time high today. Obviously, there's momentum in that space. You know, even if you exercise it, you could sell some of the shares. You know, you don't have to hold on all 100 shares. I don't know how many contracts you have, but you know, right now with tech hitting all-time high, and we've got big earnings. That's the one thing we're going to start off with today. I've got the earnings report. If you haven't paid attention to what's going on next week when it comes to earnings, this is going to make or break the market. As far as Monday, it's pretty slow. We got Ford Motor Company. That's going to be a big deciding factor here. Oh. Hey, can you hear me now, everybody? Can everybody see me? Can you see me, Q? When you're on, because you got the mouse. I can't click on my YouTube to see what they're seeing. We can hear us. Okay, so you can hear me. You just can't see me right now, it sounds like. All right, so everyone's just going to be audio at the moment here. So we've got the... So I'm just looking at the mobile app here. Sorry, throw it off a little bit. Sorry, the visual's not working. But as long as you can hear me, we've still got the confirmed up signal. We've still got the DW up signal, right? The most, the indicators are in our favor. The market's still trending higher for the most part. We just talked about the Nasdaq composite. It's near all-time highs. Are we seeing a little bit of chop? Yes. We're not getting the green light buyer, and the primary wave is down. So is it the best time to, be loading up on a bunch of stocks, especially with a, lot of big earnings next week? Probably not. And if you do, it's going to be more, volatile in nature. Can they see me yet, Koo?
Not yet. Joey's come over.
Okay. So right now, the major indices, the Nasdaq leading the charge, 1.21%. We all saw the momentum from Tesla's earnings just 2 days ago. I mean, the SPX is still leading. It's up 0.5% right now. The Dow Jones is the only one in the struggle bus. It's down 95 points. If I take a look at the Nasdaq composite, we retested that trend line me and Glenn have been talking about 2 days ago. Bottom wick. The following day, we got the gap up from Tesla's earnings, followed with another gap up today. Nice full body candlestick that I'm seeing. However, we have been kind of in a trading zone as of late with the Nasdaq. And if I take a look here, the top of that zone around 18,600, while the bottom of that zone around 18,200. So just keep that in mind. We're still, consolidating. Looks like probably about the last 2 to 2.5 weeks here, we've been in this zone. So, if you want to load up, you want to look for some confirmation. If we can get a clear break, which if we get above today's upper wick, that would put us in that scenario. And just looking at the MACD on the IXIC, the Nasdaq composite right now, the histogram is a negative ever so slightly, with the MACD line currently matched with the signal line, just showing an indecision. And with the consolidation and then pretty tight range bound trading over the last 3 weeks in the Nasdaq composite, I'm not too surprised by that. Yes, if you're just joining in right now, the visuals are not working. It's only audio at this time. We've got Joey and Koo in the background. They're trying to fix it, see what's going on here. Again, it's an iPad. I'm Team Android. So how when Glenn gets back, I'm going to talk some crap to him. Tell him we need an Android tablet. I'm not sure if that's the problem, but they're fixing it. Visual is working now. Faye, you can hear me? Yay, Team Android, John. All right, so look, someone said they could see me. So if y'all can see me now, it makes a little bit more sense. I can actually start talking about something. All right, John. All right, perfect, John. There we go. Excellent. So, yeah, I got on the Nasdaq right now. That's where the attention's at. That's where the momentum's at. If you're going to be a buyer in stocks, I'm thinking tech. That's where we're seeing it, especially with Tesla's big earnings. Next week, AMD, Meta, Microsoft. We went over the earnings calendar just a few moments ago. So if you're just joining, that was a big thing. We're seeing the momentum, but just have some caution because there's some big earnings next week. Glenn and I will be covering a live stream next Wednesday. Meta, Microsoft reports after the bell. AMD reports Tuesday after the bell. I got to get with Koo or Joey if they're available. I will do a live stream for them. The visual appear to be working. All right, yes, perfect. Everybody can see me. Thanks, Koo. Thanks, Joey, in the background. Now, as far as the program, so we've been talking about the Nasdaq. Let's go over to the VectorVest composite, just see what the broad market's doing. All right, here we've got the VectorVest composite. Just like the Nasdaq, we see a nice trend line to the upside. The retest came in 2 days ago. You see the bottom wick? If I zoom in here, we had the retest here and became a level support. We got 2 clear touches. That level support coming in just shy of $70 right now. But the moving averages you can see are mixed, the MACD to the downside. So from a technical perspective, if you're going to be buying, if you have been buying yesterday, today, even Monday, just know we haven't surpassed the prior high. And if the market's still pulling back, that's going to be at lower high, right? Not good. So just be disciplined. As far as the VectorVest composite, look at just below $70. Joey for president. Joey can fix anything. Let's give him a shot at the economy. Whew. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Cherry says AMDY. What do you think of Yuri? We'll take a look at those in just a moment. I think his daylight time got changed. That's right. It is daylight savings this weekend, right? So we're going to lose more sunshine. And whatever happened, I heard, I think it was last year, the potential to get rid of daylight savings time. I don't know if you know the history behind it, but it's from like the World War II days, to stimulate the economy and, power the machine per se. Is it kind of outdated? And I'm sure a lot of us would rather have more sunlight, right? Jazz says that would be nice. So I remember hearing that like last year. I think that's something Congress would have to pass on. But let's see here. Let's go. We see the market, right? There's some signs to be worried about. The primary wave is down. We're not seeing a green light today, but there's some signs of optimism. Certain spaces. So let's see what spaces are hot right now. We're gonna go to trade ideas. These are the hot industries. Now, Wednesday's video, I was actually thinking about doing on transportation airline stocks. I ended up doing it on gold stocks. And if you watch the video, kind of give you a heads up there that we were at the top end of that ascending channel and that a pullback is likely, right? If you did watch the gold video, you see gold come back, look to see, on some of those stocks where that ascending channel was, if we see some buying pressure at the bottom of that channel, if you want to do, buy the dip on gold, that's the way I would look at it, essentially. But, I just want to put gold on your radar. I don't think it's going anywhere, especially with all the uncertainties in the world right now. But these stocks, these are the top-ranked airlines, right? Over the summer, price of fuel was high, right? Airlines were taking a hit all over the place when it came to earnings. High fuel costs. Bad for that was the headlines I was seeing most frequently. Well, now, guess what? Oil is cheap. Fuel is cheap. We've seen some of these airlines. A lot of them we're talking about. I know Spirit popped today quite a bit. I think it was like 20% roughly. Someone can correct me on that. Newmont Gold crashed. Yeah, I think Newmont. We'll take a look at Newmont Gold as well. But like I said in the gold video, we're at the top of that channel. I literally said not the best to be buying at the top. If we were, you'd want to at least break out of the top of that channel. Daylight savings ends November 3rd, Blair. Ends for good? Or we're switching? Because that would be nice if it was just ending for good. All right, so we got SkyWest at the top, United Airlines, Spirit. So that's what I was talking about, Spirit. 21% right now. That's the momentum. See, let's click on SkyWest here. So, obviously with Spirit going up 20%, majority of the airlines are going to go up with it, right? There's positive sentiment in the space right now. You see SkyWest up almost 1%. As far as a long-term position, this looks beautiful. Lower left, upper right, moving averages still in our favor, growing, rising earnings, exactly what I like to see here. United Airlines, this looks good for a long-term position, but the only reason why I'd be hesitant, because look, it's on a parabolic move, right now. It went from $39. Click on this. Here we go. So just in August, it's almost doubled. So just be careful if you're in United Airlines. I'm not saying, take it off the table right now, but we see the consolidation over the last few trading sessions here. I just draw a horizontal line at the top of these wicks, horizontal line at the bottom. You'll see your channel. Look for the breakout, right? We all know about that. That would be the strategy here. Long term, it's United Airlines. They're hot right now. I have a feeling airlines are going to continue to show momentum to the upside. Let's see. Let's go back. If we scroll down here, we got Delta's down today. Copa's down. So some of these are down. They're pretty mixed here. Ryan, that's what I was looking for. Not because it's my name, but the stock itself was phenomenal. But you can see why no one's talking about it now on the pullback. So if you're thinking about buying an airline on the dip, Normally, I would say yes to this one, but look at the earnings per share. The earnings per share started to roll over with price action here. If you're going to play this, I can see a clear trend line, connect the lows there. Otherwise, maybe put some moving averages on it, some kind of a type stop, probably a trailing stop, so to help capture momentum. Not the best pick there. See here, Bombard. This looks really good. Look at this. Let's zoom in here. All right, the moving averages just showed some bearish momentum here. MACD down. Let's go to the next one. MACD just crossed lower. Can't get behind this one either. Airlines, there's some momentum there up to the top of the list. Save if you want a high momentum. SkyWest and United Airlines look really good. Let's see Delta. See if there's any buy the dip opportunities here maybe. And it's still channeling. You can see it's still within that main big-bodied candlestick. We've been range-bound within that candlestick. So I'd look for a breakout there, whether to the up or down side. But the MACD, fresh bearish crossover, histogram, negative territory. Painting more of a bearish picture than optimism, really, with Delta. Let's take a look at some of the other industries here, see what popped up on the list. We got food, dairy products has been there for quite some time. But Lifeway Foods, there's not too many in this space. Lifeway Foods, that's the reason why it's been at the top of the list here. Let's see what yeah, ever since the gap up on Lifeway, still not doing much at all. Oop. Yeah, look at that, a lot. That's very, very tight consolidation. Delta getting more overvalued. Wish you were doing tech. Should ADMA get on our radar again? All right, let's take a look at some of these stocks. Now, as far as high industries, Lifeway, no. Let's do this one. This Nasdaq just hit higher. We are going to do electrical connectors because tech might be hot. Let's see what we got here. IHC. These are some interesting names. We got APH. I do like this chart here. Let's zoom in. Let's go to 6 month. All right, yeah, we're approaching a new high. If we can get the breakout at the top of this resistance here, coming in about $71, this would definitely be one. We got momentum behind us. We see the MACD, the histogram bars. The momentum is behind us. If you're not already in it, not worried about selling it right at this time. But for confirmation, we might get a breakthrough to the upside here. We're only a couple of dollars away, so that could happen, potentially here pretty soon. We've got SI Time core, let's go to 1 year. This is actually a really nice chart. Look at this. Lower left, upper right over the last 6 months. And we're approaching a new possible breakout here. We see the consolidation, the highs. We see the rejection there. Several levels at that current resistance level. Let's see, 1 month. You can see the resistance up here. Just shy of 190. This one might actually be a good play. I like this. Yeah, a lot of momentum there. Let's see, here's the other one. Not enough volume. And that doesn't look good at all. That just doesn't look pretty at all. Let's see here. All right, now let's go to the premium watch list, give you some more ideas here. Semiconductors, let's see how they are doing going in. We got big semiconductors reporting next week. Look, they're all up for the most part. We see NVIDIA up 2%, 143. I don't know if anybody watched that NVIDIA video I did a couple weeks ago about getting ready for the breakout. Could have called that at a better time. TSM, Taiwan Semi, back in the 200s. Whew, up 3%. I love Taiwan Semi. Taiwan Semi, AMD, definitely a big fan. Here's Astera Labs. Let's see here. Snuck it up 6% right now. A-Lab. A-Lab looks really good. Look at this momentum here on A-Lab to the upside. Buy ratings, earnings per share on the rise. The value, it is overvalued. It's at $19.38. So yeah, investors, they're willing to pay a premium right now. So for this one, I'm going to stick to my technicals, not necessarily the fundamentals, just because fundamentals tell me that it's greatly overvalued. See here, we got AMD. I don't know if you watched the video about AMD I did last night. They've got earnings next week. We'll see what happens here. And we'll see what happens. A lot of consolidation with AMD, up almost 3%. I am bullish. Time to buy SOXL. I'm thinking so, Jazz. If you don't know, SOXL is triple leverage. And a lot of times, the semiconductors, they get pumped before getting into NVIDIA. After NVIDIA's earnings, I don't know what's going to happen. But my guess is that they move to the upside. As long as AMD doesn't, create a bearish stir, which I don't see that happening with AMD. Let's see here. Micron's a big one. Been talking about Micron a lot. It broke its downward trend line, found a double bottom here, trend reversal pattern. Micron is beautiful. I think Micron, and Glenn showed me a performance chart of Micron. It's keeping up with NVIDIA over the last 1 month. So it's showing that kind of, enthusiasm from investors. I like Micron. If you're not in Micron already, hey, we got a clear support level, maybe a little bit below that, use it as a stop. Right now it's trading 109. Support comes in around 102. Maybe around 109, 10, 15%, give you a little wiggle room. Otherwise, trend line, simple moving averages, 20-day EMA is there. Am I going to be a buyer of this today? Let's zoom in, find out. MACD just crossed over. We did get a gap up. If we could take out upper wick today, I would be a little bit of a buyer. Hey, NVIDIA is so late in earnings. Yeah, they're in November, like the second week of November, something like that. They're pretty far out. They're not anytime soon. But Micron, I know a lot of people have been talking about Micron. Amir, SMCI. SMCI is still leveled out. We can talk about it, but it ain't really doing a whole lot. And as far as the investigation, that's going to be the deciding factor. It don't matter what I say about SMCI. If this investigation comes out that they did a lot of things that they weren't supposed to do, probably not going to be good for the stock price. The only good thing got going for it right now is that there's already a bad sell-off. The stock's already so undervalued. But the valuation may not be accurate if, the investigation is true, right? Or the allegations are true, right? So that could be it. Easy day trade, SMCI. SMCI might be in the list here. We got Broadcom. Big day for Broadcom here. Nice bullish candlestick. Looks like we might get a new crossover here at these moving averages. MACD still to the negative. I like Broadcom. I think it's a big player in the space, not going anywhere. But, if I'm going to go for, a $1 trillion market cap company, probably going to go NVIDIA. I think that would be the safer pick, If I want to do a smaller market cap company to really get a chance of bags, multi-bagger opportunities, it's probably going to be ARM or AMD, just being honest. Or Micron. I could throw Micron in that list, potentially. SMCI, I would put in that list, but SMCI comes with a lot of potential risk, but potential reward, right? Because if that investigation is, gets dismissed or whatever happens, and it comes that the findings aren't true, I feel SMCI going to shoot up like a rocket. You better jump in when you can. We need audited earnings for SMCI. Yeah, Ramor, that's what I'm saying. It's hard. I know one of the big things I've been talking about SMCI is the valuation. But if they lied and cooked their books, essentially, that's what one of the things they're accused of. And it's a whistleblower. I don't know if anybody knows that, but it is a whistleblower. It was a former employee. Are there signals that a stock is going to split? Kathy, usually there's rumors, like on CNBC. Please check Robinhood, AMD, IBM when you get a chance. Joy, I could definitely check those out for you. If there's signals that a stock's going to split, not per se, but usually they tell you, like, you have like a couple months before. Usually the biggest signal is the price it gets over $1,000. Usually, that's what SMCI announced it, and they announced theirs as earnings. A lot of times they do announce that at earnings, especially some of these bigger companies I've noticed. NVIDIA, they announced it at earnings. It caused a big pop up. I remember that day. Broadcom, they announced, actually, now that I think about it, I think a lot of times they announce that. Anybody know? Is that usually the trend that they announce split at earnings? But yeah, usually my sign is, if it's a heavily retail traded presence, from what I've seen, at least, yeah, SMCI way under 200 day, not touching it now. Yeah, John, I'm saying you got, as Dr. David Paul said, you got some testicular fortitude for SMCI. But what I'm going to say is, not only do you have to have that, you got to be disciplined, because, you know, if news breaks out after hours and it gaps down 20%, you know, that's a very realistic scenario given the investigation. Usually at earnings, Ryan, but not always. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Now it's like playing back in my head. I'm like, now I think about some of these big companies, it's usually at earnings. I lost huge amount on IBM earning till now. Till now, is IBM coming back? All right, let's take a look at some stocks. Let's do that. We got to create a watch list here. My watch list. And this is Glenn's VectorVest account, so we're going to have to... All right, give me some stocks. We got Intel, INTC, Pega, Microsoft. Yeah, let me go ahead and just put in Microsoft. Oh, wait. MSF. My finger's a little too big. Meta. Defen. Fix. Palantir. I was looking at Palantir. When I opened up Glenn's tablet, it opened up to Palantir. Go figure. Let me scroll back up. I think I missed a couple of this chat here. Here. IDR. Idaho Strategic. I remember that one. Fix. DJT. I don't get political, but we'll talk. Oh, Dow Jones. You're talking about Trump Media. There we go. SFF. I already tell you, Trump Media is so close to the election right now. That one's going to be volatile. And you already know why it's going to go up or why it's going to go down. I don't have to talk about it on the channel. I mean, that's the reason why it would go up or go down. Let's be honest with ourselves here. Or it could be a sell the news kind of event that could throw you a curveball and you get it, you know. And you just don't get caught holding any kind of bag there. That's don't get emotionally attached to that one. That could make or break. All right, we got quite a few here. Hold up. Where is it at? Trying to find. Joy, you got IBM. Sorry, I was looking for yours. Since you gave me like 2 super chats that last video, so I want to make sure I get your stocks here. CLAH. Celsius, that's what we could talk about. Oh, and Hood. I could talk about Hood. I like Hood. I talked about Hood as a play for the Bitcoin ETF. Like months ago, I said that's going to be huge for Hood. All right. Oh, AMD, they got earnings next week. Anything else? I got big earnings. We'll do McDonald's. I'm going to throw McDonald's on there, MCD. Because they got earnings too next week with the call. So you create watch list. Do Ryan. Mobile. All right, here's our list. At the top of the list, so these are going to be in order by VST, so I can already tell you right now, the stock with the highest combination of value, safety, and timing. It's actually a two-way tie. MCore Group and Robinhood. I'm not surprised that Robinhood's at the top of the list. I said that is an excellent play when it comes to doing the Bitcoin ETF. If you don't want to buy the cryptos and deal with a digital wallet and all the craziness with cryptocurrency, either Robinhood, or what was the other one? Yeah, the Bitcoin ETFs, or Ethereum ETFs. But I just imagine that would be good. So let's take a look here. We got MCore, EME at the top of the list. Undervalued. We're valuing the stock at $626. Nice price action. Down day to day. I mean, that's a big down day to day. So let's click on the chart here. 3 months. Obviously, I can't get behind it today. I don't know what price you bought it at, whoever gave me this stock. But remember, when you bought a stock, you had a plan in place. Definitely stick to that plan. Right now, it's what? 426. Any kind of support, it's not going to come till just shy of 400. So $30 on a, what, 400, probably about 7-8%. So you got to ask yourself, do you want to risk giving up that extra 7-8%, right? Because I'm seeing a little bit of a bottom wick here, but if I surpass today's bottom wick, showing more downside momentum, that's giving me inclination. It's going to drop, looks like just shy of $400 here, at least until we get, some confirmation. Otherwise, if you wanted to, we surpassed today's bottom wick, you can close a little bit out, right? Hey, if we touch this support zone here in a little bit and we get a nice bottom wick showing some buying pressure, boom, use that money. You bought in at a cheaper price. But definitely, I think we would be approaching the trend line here soon too. I think we're really close to that trend line. This one, MACD's down. But as far as buying it today, no, I can't get behind it. Can't get behind it today at all. We just broke that clear level support today, and when we broke it today, that's a big body candlestick. So they broke it with, that's some confirmation that was broken pretty clearly, right? You can see the sentiment there. See, we got Robinhood. Let's go to Robinhood 1 year chart. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. I like it. I like it. Now, as far as everything going on here, I mean, that's a new high. If I go to 6 month, that is a new high today. Looks like we had some consolidation there. Still kind of in that consolidation zone. If we could, where that upper wick was, if we go to 3 month, you see the upper wick, that kind of started to break out of it. We're still in that right now. If you're in it, I don't see any reason to sell it. If you're not in it, probably not. I'm not gonna tell you not to buy it. I mean, it looks good. Look at lower left, upper right. Everything's in our favor here. Crypto's hot right now. Tech stocks are hot. Enthusiasm's back in the market right now with interest rates on the decline. So I like Hood, and they actually released. One of my colleagues was just showing me their new platform. So they've got some new tools coming out to help generate or garner higher end clientele. So I know a couple of things they were doing is like Forex. They made a couple changes to adapt to try to attract more higher end clientele. So just keep that in mind. Robinhood, I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see if we go back. See what the valuation. It is overvalued at $14.75. When it was trading below $10, it was looking very attractive. Right now, the momentum is there. I'm going to say this is more of a technical trade and not something to really get too emotionally involved, especially its fundamentals. See, it's a Trump tech play. Yeah, Sherry, I know most of us probably know what DJT is. Jazz, you play fun. Let's see here. Hood earnings in a few days. Oh, Hood's next week? What date is that? I got the earnings for next week. Earnings October 30th. So that'll be Tuesday. That's AMD's day? I had it under 10 and got stopped out, and then it go back in Hood. Sigh. Yeah, John, I almost play Hood like a crypto. When there's a lot of enthusiasm in the crypto market, Hood usually works out pretty well with it. But if you see Bitcoin taking a beating, Hood's probably not going to be my first pick. I'm gonna say that. But as far as Hood right now, I mean, lower left, upper right. We see the big dip there. Looks, what was that? Probably about July, August period. Wednesday, October 30th on Hood. All right. Okay, so it's Wednesday. Hey, so me and Glenn, we could probably throw that in the mix because, like I said, we're doing Meta, Microsoft. Meta, that's probably, I have talked about Meta being undervalued for like the last, it was like in the 300s. If you haven't, I've done a couple videos on it where I took the Nasdaq 100 watch list, price divided by value. What's the most undervalued stocks in the Nasdaq 100? Meta pops up in that list every time I've been running it for like the last 6-9 months. And it keeps jumping up. So I like Meta a lot. And let's be honest, Facebook ain't going nowhere. Facebook is not going anywhere. They've got Instagram, that's huge. Have Meta since March 1st, 2024. I like Meta a lot. All right, we got to get through here. We got 1235 Hood. I'm a yes. I'm a yes on Hood. I like it. Idaho Strategic. This is new to me. I'm not 100% sure. I've never heard of this company. I'll tell you that right now. Dividend, no dividend. Sales growth rate, 89%. Overvalued. We only valued at $15. Trading at $17. So it's slightly overvalued. Nothing crazy. Rising earnings. Nice smooth chart pattern. Lower left, upper right. I like the chart. Can't get on it necessarily today. But you see the trend line forming over the last 4 candlesticks. You draw a little line over it. We get a break, strong volume, all the, positive things going on. Yeah, I'd get into it. Why not? I mean, this is a beautiful stock chart. Let's see here. Idaho Strategic. Interesting. I'm going to write that one down. Where's my pen? There we go. Comfort Index 1.82. Yeah, this is a great stock to have here. Relative safety, that's, the stock price is pretty smooth. The stock chart is smooth. Relative safety, not the best rating, but everything else looks really good there. I like that one. Fix Comfort Systems. Woo! They have earnings today, right? Who knows? Let me type it in here real quick. Let's see, we got Fix earnings. I had the Australian timing the market to do, so I've been focused on the Australian market. I haven't looked here. So earning 3 call, recent event, down 10% here. Revenue missed. Hi Ryan, what was the new AI company that should be going public soon? You mentioned a few weeks ago. Holy shoot, that was not a few weeks. I think that was like 2 months ago. But yes, I forgot about that because their theory was different. It was a semiconductor company, because I know a lot of semiconductor companies are aiming for like the small chip, small to get power, performance, whatever. This company, from what I remember from the articles, it was like big computer chips, obviously not meant for mobile, but they're using these big computer chips for like data centers and stuff, where size isn't a problem, and the specs were like way better than NVIDIA. Cerebus, let me write that down. I don't know if it's Cerebus or not. Hold up. But that's, we got to do a follow-up on that, because the news is that they had better chips than NVIDIA. So that's worth the follow-up video. And if they're about to go public, let's get in there before everyone else does, if that's the case. Cerebus is holding off its IPO. Okay, I thought that was right, Cerebus. All right. They're holding off their IPO. Well, that's a bummer. Remore, any rumor on when it might take place? And while you figure that out, so Fix, I got missed revenue today. If I look at the news, sales below analyst estimates. Let's see here. Sales growth rate, 40%. So they've got some high estimates. Let's look at the company. Lower left, upper right. You know what? I see a gap down, but I'm starting to see a big old wick at the bottom of that thing. If you're in it, again, whatever stop you had in place, whatever plan you had in place, don't let it become emotional. I'm not a financial, I can tell you what to do, but don't start changing the plan. There ain't nothing good gonna happen from changing the plan. If you're thinking about buying on the dip, oh wait, no, not there we go. If you're thinking about buying on the dip, I'd just put a stop in right around that lower wick. If we take out today's lower wick, it's worth a couple bucks, But otherwise, yeah, it got down. You'd have to look more into the earnings story, but I know they missed revenue, and it looks like the sales is the big caveat for today's downward movement. I just heard it on the news. SEC was not happy with information on its prospectus. Ooh. I hope so. I need to make up for my loss with TSLQ. Jazz, that's why I did a half. I don't know if you saw Wednesday's video. I did half position, 500, 10% stop. It stopped me out. I think I lost $60 on it. So $60, that's fine with me. You know, it was because if it would have dropped, you know, going the other way, and it's leverage, you know, the risk reward was worth it to me. I had a tight stop. I'm holding my DJT until closer to election. Well, you know, that's going to be a roller coaster. I just want you to know, whatever happens, it's going to be a ride. I hope it just, you know, hopefully you make some money during that ride. That's all that matters. Now, here's one. We got Meta. Oh, Meta, duh. I love Meta. Let's go back to Meta. Let's see here. Meta, look at this. We're about at 725 now. I don't know how much I can tell you. Look at the chart, lower left. So right before that big pop, let me zoom in here. You see the big pop? Ooh. There we go. 1 year. That big pop right there, right before that big pop, that's when I first started talking about it. Because everything was, you know, running in the market. The Nasdaq, all the semiconductors were on fire at the beginning of last year. I wanted to see where there was value. Meta is where I found value. We can see some consolidation, obviously, but that price is rocking and rolling. It's approaching, you know, $600, currently at $578, up almost 2% again today. It's got earnings next week, right? Who knows what they're going to talk about earnings? I'm not going to speculate if the stock's going to go up or down, but as far as a long-term investment, I like it. It's big. It's a big tech company. They're getting their hands into AI. You know, I like Meta. I wouldn't sleep on them at all. The stock is undervalued. Like I said, it's one of the most undervalued companies. We're buying it over $720. Meta was undervalued when it was trading at 100. We were talking about it back in 2020. Well, John, I wasn't making videos back in 2022. I was answering the phone. But yeah, we're all on the same page there. Now, actually, it's hard to believe. I've been doing this just over a year now. So hopefully I've made you guys some money along the way. That's the goal. You know, try to make you money. Is there a ticker for Cerebra? It hasn't IPO'd. That is the company I did a video on I think about a month or two ago now. According to Remore, IPO delayed. I guess SEC wasn't too happy. But it sounds like I'm probably next Thursday, I'm going to touch on Cerebra, see what I find out. But obviously, you can all Google it. You know, well, we can all figure it out pretty quickly. But it doesn't sound like the IPO is coming too soon. But I am more concerned about those computer chips. Because if what the story was true on their computer chips being faster and more efficient than NVIDIA, as far as their data center purposes, that's phenomenal. And I could wait for a little IPO. Meta has been a 5-bagger in about 2 years. Hey, now, I like a good bag. Who doesn't like a good bag? All right, here's AMD. They got earnings next week, right? And I said in the video last night. Oh, here we go. You can see the consolidation. If you drew a trend line across the top, trend line across the bottom. We were at a breakout point, but we were right at a level of support, which was yesterday and the day before. But look, price action back up almost 3%, 157. The valuation, unless it changed from yesterday, it was around like 155. Yeah, we value 155. So it was undervalued yesterday. I tried to give you the heads up. It was undervalued. I knew it wouldn't last long. AMD, NVIDIA, anytime those two become undervalued, I'm not going to say every time, you know, for future purposes, but every time it becomes under our value metrics, you know, put it on your radar, because time and time again, opportunities are presenting themselves there, especially with companies so much hype over it, you know, because it's going to get overvalued again. You think the AI race or the AI hype is over? I don't think so. Why is AMD moving up so fast? Do you think AMD is overvalued? I do not think it's overvalued. Look at this. This is the way there's 3 semiconductor stocks out there. These are the ones. Taiwan Semiconductor. They're the reason behind the whole thing. They're the ones who manufacture chips for NVIDIA, AMD. The risk with them, they're in Taiwan. U.S.-China relations. It's that simple. That's the risk with them, right? NVIDIA, AMD, their biggest risk, they rely on Taiwan. NVIDIA is the big player in this space, right? But with the market cap, you know, just over $3 trillion, do I think, you know, the stock's going to go up? It can make you money? Yeah, definitely. It's probably one of the, you know, of the Mag 7, I would probably choose that or Meta, to be honest. but it's not going to give you the bags like it did before. And people that don't understand market caps, I know all kinds of investors, watch us. If you're new and you don't understand market cap, their market cap's so huge. Think about it. It's $3 trillion. It has to go to $6 trillion for the next bag. $9 trillion or 6 to 12 for the next bag. This is astronomical. AMD's around $250 billion. I think around 300 billion, 250. You got to look at it. No, I don't think it's too late at all. And this is the reason why. I talked about it a little bit in the video last night. Definitely watch it. Data centers. That's really what's going to propel AMD. Their gaming consoles, PCs, stuff like that. Yeah, that's all nifty, and it got them to where they're at. But they're trying to get to where NVIDIA, and we're trying to capture those bags, hopefully, right? Yeah, I did put a video out on it, so you got to watch the video. But essentially, I like AMD because they're well positioned. They don't have to beat NVIDIA. They don't. NVIDIA already has I think it's 90% of the AI data server market share, and the rest is pretty much Intel and AMD as far as the GPUs. Intel, they're so far behind. So really, my bet is on AMD, and they don't have to beat NVIDIA to start getting us bags. No, they just have to slowly either keep their market share, which is pretty small compared to NVIDIA, as the space grows, because I think the compounded annual growth rate, depending on the article and the videos, it's usually between 18 to 26% over the next 5 to 10 years. It's a lot of growth there. So as long as they keep their market share, or with if you watch the video, they just announced their new MI 325 AI chips. Next year they got the 350s coming out. Lisa Su, I wouldn't bet against her. Lisa Su's probably one of my favorite CEOs out there. If not my favorite, AMD's my favorite stock, so she probably would be my favorite CEO. But as far as position, I don't think it's over with. If you don't want to risk it, because all they got to say is one thing wrong in the earnings call, just like any other stock, and it can drop, right? If it drops, I see it as a buying opportunity. If it rises, good, good. Glenn does love iPhone. Yeah, he does love an iPhone. Poor guy. KKR. And don't get any nicer than that. Hey, even on a down day, I don't know. Actually, if I didn't see yesterday's wick, I just noticed that. Look at that upper wick. Oh, no, come on. There we go. All right. No. KKR, we'll go 3 months. You see yesterday's upper wick. Today's down. If it was just a down day, I'd be like, because the chart's so smooth, right? As long as you're disciplined, it's not a bad idea. But with yesterday's huge upper wick, really little bottom wick, showing me indecision there. Big, it gapped up, dropped like a rock. It's looking like right now. Not a buyer today. Am I worried about selling it? No. Look at this thing. That's about as smooth as you're gonna get. I would just keep riding it up. Probably like a 10-15% trail. So that way you just capture momentum. But whatever you're comfortable with. Systems, when it comes out, will be on Nasdaq under CBRS control. Oh, CBRS system. Gotcha. Ripman. Pocahontas is going after KKR. I don't know what you mean by that, John. AMD took the advanced chips from CPUs in INTC in time. Who knows what they can do again. That's what I'm saying. I like AMD. I'm going to tell you right now, the only reason why everyone got into semiconductors in the first place, my cousin does cybersecurity. He's my inside guy. He doesn't work for NVIDIA or AMD, but he knows computers very well. He's got me and the whole family. We knew about AMD and TSM years ago. I think he just trimmed some AMD profits and bought a Toyota Tundra. And he's still buying. He's still holding his Taiwan semi. So if he's holding, I can't talk too bad about semis right now. But KKR, that's a beautiful chart. If you're a long-term investor, if you don't like volatility, this is exactly what you're looking for. Let's go here. We got here Turtle Beach. Big update today. As far as an investor, what do we see there, guys? What do we see there, girls and gals? Ryan, could you do a video on cybersecurity? Yeah, I've done some in the past. I could definitely do one, and I think it was Palo Alto. I think it was Palo Alto that gap down from earnings. I was talking about buying the dip in the video. And then Nancy Pelosi, news comes out that she bought the stock. So that thing rocketed. And it wasn't because of me. I don't know what it's doing now. But yeah, we probably should look at cybersecurity stocks. You know, and cybersecurity is like big, like semiconductors. It's not going anywhere. They are pretty volatile stocks, but well-managed long-term positions. Great spaces to be in. Reverse head and shoulders. That's the pattern I saw too. You see that? Reverse head and shoulders right here. I'm zooming to 6 months. Boom, right? That looks good. So, you know, obviously if I'm going to buy it, you know, if I go into 1 month, I got to break this downward little trend that we're seeing. If I could break that, if you want to wait for the confirmation, you know, it's at the high. Right now it's at 1668. The high looks like it's just maybe just shy of $1 away. So we're not that far. Cyber is a growth sector. Yeah. And guess what does really well when they start cutting interest rates? Growth stocks, right? Right? Are you not putting on many positions with the election? Am I getting rid of my long-term positions? No. Am I in a rush to add? To be honest with you, I'm more concerned about big tech earnings next week than I am with the election when it comes to the stock market. I'm going to say with everything else, but when it comes to the stock market, I think the big tech can rocket more than the stock market. Because stock market, it's like, I think it's going to be volatile until it gets to the election because it's, you know, what side, who's winning, you know, whatever. But once you're there, the market knows, you know, the uncertainty is gone. And what we've seen in elections in the past is typically after the election, boom, goes off. But who knows, you know? Do you think there will be a huge dump week before elections? I wouldn't be surprised if people started protecting profits and seeing safe haven assets go up, like gold. You know, gold had a big drop. We'll have to look at the gold stock, Newmont. Actually, we're gonna take a look at that one. SFM. Let's see here. We gotta get through these. Sports farmers. This is beautiful. Whew, everybody throw this on your radar. Hold up. Who gave me SFM? Give shouts to whoever gave me SFM. That is beautiful. That's over the last 6 months. Let's look at a year here. Pfft. That's the stock. You want a nice rising stock in times of uncertainty and everything. I mean, it's been a crazy year, crazy 12 months. But this stock is rocking and rolling. DPST. Let's see if we get through these. We'll get some stock. If there is a dump, could be a good opportunity for buying certain stock. Yes. Obviously, certain sectors or industry. And the interesting what it comes down to, and the big talk right now is the tariffs. You know, I'm gonna tell you right now, semiconductors, they're gonna be right in the mix of Taiwan, China, U.S. tariffs. I'm just throwing that out there. So like I said, there are gonna be some things affected. Am I gonna speculate on everything? No, we don't even know who's gonna get it yet. SFM looks like Elf a while back. John, it does look like Elf a while back, but that's why you gotta stay disciplined. You don't want to write it down. But with this momentum here, and it's pretty smooth chart pattern. I mean, even with like a 10% trail stop, yeah, I like this. Even with the market as volatile, you know, as up and down as it has been in the last month. I mean, look at the stock in the last month. Beautiful. I like it. I like what I see here. I wouldn't buy it today because look, this is the first day where it's gapped up and gone lower over the last month. Let's take out today's high. Let's see what do we got in the color guard here. Let's go back to the color guard. 3 yellow lights. Primary wave is down. I'm gonna wait overall. I mean, think about it. Unless you are ready for some volatility, you shouldn't be buying. Now, if you like volatility and you want to gamble a little, there's going to be something to take over. We got big earnings, election, 3 yellow lights with the primary wave down. I can't just be like, oh, let's go out and buy a stock today just because. No, but sports farmers, I'd put it on a list and keep an eye on it. Palantir, well, that just hit a new high today. Look at that. Let's go to 1 year. Boom. Things rocking and rolling. 44.78. Look at Glenn. I don't. You know what Glenn's going to tell you? That thing's rocking and rolling, right? Moving averages in our favor? No. I mean, I don't know where you bought it. I mean, another thing was in the teens not too long ago. So obviously, taking some off the table at some point. Today got to be the day? Not necessarily. But you don't want to just hold it and watch it go back down. That's all what you don't want. You don't want it to roll over on you and then sell it, or get emotionally attached to it, right? We don't want that. Let's see here. SFM reports October 30th. Okay, so that's next week as well. So for that smooth company, I'd probably just wait till after earnings. If it dips, I might, nibbling at it, with a tight stop, see what happens. I'm not going to speculate. We got to wait on the earnings call. But the chart pattern was beautiful. Palantir chart pattern, beautiful. Nice big body candlestick today. We got Pega Systems. This thing's rocking and rolling. I don't like the upper wick at all. Big gap. I mean, as soon as it gaps, we got a huge lower wick. Now we got a huge upper wick. There's no decision for me. There's no clear sense of direction. Ryan, someone asked about ADMA. It just went above 1 on RT. ADMA, I'm writing that one down. What time is it? Oh, if you are a subscriber, 2 o'clock today, I forgot to mention, Power Hour, stock analysis power. I'm going to write these symbols down. It is 12:56. We got to wrap this up here soon. But 2 o'clock today in the VectorVest community room. If you're a VectorVest subscriber, it is only to VectorVest subscribers. I will be there. We got an hour. We can probably go over a little bit of an hour. Pega has 40% earnings per share, 40% sales, 40% ROE. They're kicking butt. Hey, there we go. You promised new. Oh, I did promise new, and I did the video. All right, let's scroll through these. Microsoft, real quick. Boom, still in a channel. Can't get behind it. They got earnings next week. I'm probably gonna wait. If you're in it, I'd look at the prior low, the prior swing low. My stop would probably be around, what is that? About 416, 430, $15 away for it. It's not that tight of a stop, Stay disciplined. MACD just went positive. I like what I see here, but we're right at resistance, right? And earnings is next week, so you got to make that decision. If you're feeling froggy, you can leap. That's up to you. But Microsoft, it's a big company, and if it gapped up, I wouldn't be surprised, but we'll see. DJT, here we go. Here's Trump stock. It's rocking and rolling. You probably have to look at the polls numbers, what's the news going on there. But as far as this, moving averages in our favor, I'm not going to go off any fundamental analysis for this. That's a waste of time. Stick to your technicals and just stay disciplined on this. This thing can make you a lot of money, or you can lose a lot of money real quick. If you decide to gamble on that, that's on you. But as the election gets closer and closer, this thing's probably going to be moving and moving a little bit more. Here we got Celsius. Woo, what's going on with Celsius here? I haven't looked at it in a while, and I could see why. Sell rating. Ooh. All right, if I'm a bottom fisher, I'm putting my stop in right around the prior low. You're looking at yeah. Oh, wait, right here. Prior low coming in around $29. As far as the stock itself, let's see here, Celsius value, it's undervalued. RVRS, all that stuff is good. So if you're trying to bottom fish on a good stock here, undervalued, that's it. My stop would be prior low. Stay disciplined there. The momentum's to the downside. I'm not going to lie to you and say the momentum is not. It's to the downside. If you're jumping in this early, it's an aggressive move. The potential is there. I could see why. Celsius tanked after the Olympics. So what are your thoughts on SoFi? SoFi, I'm going to write that down. All right, we might have to go here soon. All right, how many stocks we got? We're getting close. IBM, gap down, not looking good. Not looking good at all. And it created a new low today. And maybe if it gets into the gap, I could see some temptation to fill the gap. But right now, I don't, especially with other big tech coming out next week, that I'm not a buyer of the dip right now. If you're in it, what's this bottom wick here? The low 210. I'd probably say like 205 maybe, but like my absolute, if you started taking profits off the table after the gap down in the earnings, not mad at you at all. It just lost its buy rating. So at this point, protect the profits. If you're thinking about bottom fishing, it just created a new low today. I can't get behind being a buyer right now. DFIN looks like it was a comeback. Look at that nice bullish candlestick today, right on that level of support. If we get follow through Monday, I'm in it. But again, this is all gonna. Actually, was it Lockheed Martin that reported that caused that, or was it Raytheon? One of them did. I know we just talked about that. That big drop, that was earnings, right? So again, earnings, you're gonna see that noise. So if you don't like noise, start taking profits because it's gonna be out there over the next week or two. We got McDonald's gap down. They got earnings next week. Another big down day today. I can't get behind McDonald's right now. Like I said, I just saw a report. I think the toll is up to like over 70 people in the E. coli thing. All the technicals, bearish momentum there. I can't get behind it. This ain't got no volume. This has no volume. No, don't like it at all. Intel. Ooh, look at Intel trying to come up. Look at this guy. If you want to do some bottom fishing on Intel, yeah. Again, Intel is going to benefit from the U.S. CHIP Act. But we all know they're so far behind the curve right now. TSM, they're the winner. I see piles and piles of Celsius products at Wegmans. Anyone buying it? I don't know. I think Ryan said 2 p.m. for power. Yeah, 2 p.m. for power hour. Intel, I just think there's better semiconductor stocks out there. And if I'm going to go for a domestic, Micron or NXPI. But yeah, Intel, it wants to fill this gap. For a trade, if we could break, it's in a channel right now. If we get above this, just above $24, it's about $1 away. Put it on your radar. If it breaks above that, we're seeing strong volume. Nice swing trade, right? That would be it. And actually, if we break above this, I'm going to put my, a target closer to 30. We got a gap fill. And I have a feeling if it breaks above that, it's really probably going to be AMD or NVIDIA's earnings. If we get positive earnings for some more semiconductors over the next week or two, gain that, keep the momentum going that we're seeing today. I think Intel is probably going to be lifted behind it, or lifted with it, I should say. All right, I think that's it. Intel was at the bottom of the level. No, we got Solve. Look at that bottom wick. Close open than the low one. I'm not a buyer today overall. I'm not going to be, too concerned about selling it, but you can see we're flirting with new highs here. So the stock's really just looking for some confirmation. We're just not getting that yet. All right, before we go, this is going to be the last stock, and then we got to roll search. Newmont Corp. Six months. You see the ascending channel right here. I can't draw. Let's see if it looks better in 3 months. Yeah, you can see the ascending channel if you connect the tops, connect the bottoms. Pretty on point ascending channel for quite a while. The video I did last night, it was right at the top of that channel, and I said, why would you buy it at the top of the channel? Look for confirmation there, right? We had several rejections at that price. You saw the gap down, huge down day. Now, look at the buying pressure today. We're going into election, times of uncertainty, right? Interest rates just dropped. Everything's primed for gold right now. This was dropped, Newmont earnings. I'm seeing buying pressure, right? If you ignored what I said and bought at the top of the channel, that's something else. But now we broke to the downside of that channel, right? Huge down candlestick yesterday. Today we're seeing buying pressure. If I wanted to nibble in this position, yeah. Am I going to go jump in with a full position? No. Maybe not even half a position. Maybe a quarter position, a little nibble. And the only reason why I would be nibbling at this is simply because I see a bottom wick with a with an open candlestick. So even though it gapped down again today, buyers are coming in. Now my stop is going to be right at the support level here, around $45. So again, if you are going to be getting into it, I'm like, it's a bottom fishing opportunity. I see the sell off too. I'm there with those buyers. You know, I see optimism here, but this is definitely, you got to be disciplined for this. But the damage looks like it's over for the most part. Time will tell. But gold is hot. I don't see that really going around anywhere. Hold it. Well, the holding really depends at what price you bought it at, right? Because if you bought it right at $60, now it's at 48, 10, 1, 6, it's about 15%. You got to ask what your stop is. You know, I'm not going to tell you to change your stop or put something out there, but definitely if it goes past today's bottom wick, I would be getting real defensive, right? Because otherwise, we're going to look for another level of support and get a couple more dollars on the way down. But we're going to talk more stocks. 2 p.m. Come join us. VectorVest Community Room. I'm going to see everybody there. But as far as Newmont Corp gold, yeah, it took a big hit. We're going to take a look at some gold stocks. Actually, I'm going to put something together to show you guys. I'm going to show some gold stocks when we do the watch list. We're going to talk about gold because does this opportunity look attractive to you? And that's going to be the question to think about. So let's join out here in just an hour. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Joy. But again, Joy, I don't know what price you bought it at. L for 2 p.m. All right, guys. I'll see you in a bit.